Hello guys, it's Iwillrantify, and I've been meaning to do a rant on SpongeBob for a while. I have been talking about how I don't really like him, I don't really like it anymore, and I didn't really get to do a brief talk about why I hate it. So, here I go, and let me just start off by saying that the new SpongeBob episodes are okay, alright? They're not that good, they're okay. I don't like them, but they're okay. They're doing an okay job. But I would prefer the old episodes a million times over these. Now, let me also say, SpongeBob wasn't the best thing, in the 90s compared to the shows that were still on from the 90s. If you think about it, Cat Dog was still on, The Angry Beavers was still on, Hey Arnold was still on, Rugrats was still on, there was the Wild Thornberries. There was what else? There was still all that, although that got a little crappy in the 2000s. There was Keenan and Kel for 1 year while SpongeBob was on. And really also SpongeBob was not on January 1st, 1999, the beginning of 1999. It debuted in May. So it wasn't on the entire time of the 90s. It was only on for like 6 months in the 90s. Nevertheless, it's still a 90s Nicktoon. And that's pretty much the only reason that I appreciate it to this day. I do not like the new SpongeBob episodes, and I only appreciate them because it's still a 90s Nicktoon, and it's pretty much the only bit of 90s that Nickelodeon has left, aside from the Fairly Odd Parents and Figure It Out. But even that's not the same as its original version. So I'm going to start off with, you cannot run something like SpongeBob this long. I understand that The Simpsons has been on for long, Rugrats was on this long, Saturday Night Live, all this stuff has been on this long. I understand that. But still, it just seems like SpongeBob does not have what it takes to run this long. It's not the best show in the world. It just can't go this long. And, even though Rugrats went this long, they're planning on making a new SpongeBob season in 2015. Patooey. That's ridiculous. You cannot run something like SpongeBob for 16 years. It's just ridiculous. Unless they go back to their old ways, the way they used to be, I don't recommend they do that. That's just crazy. So, it should have been canceled after the movie because that's when it was originally supposed to be canceled. Now, what I'm about to tell you is I just hate this. It was supposed to be canceled after the movie in 2004. And the creator of the show, Steven Hillenburg, wanted to cancel it. Nickelodeon said, the heck with that. We're gonna keep this show going because it's pretty much the last good piece of the 90s that we have left. So they kept it running. 2005 was okay. 2006 when it got really crappy. Now, how do you stop the creator of... This is the creator of SpongeBob. How do you stop the reason that SpongeBob even exists from canceling his own show? I understand that it belongs to the Nickelodeon, which belongs to Viacom. But, I mean... The creator of the show is Steven Hillenburg. He came up with the idea. And SpongeBob, what a lot of people have to understand is SpongeBob is not only a Nickelodeon show. Because TV Land, I believe, tried to show SpongeBob. They showed it a while and then they didn't have enough money to keep showing it. SpongeBob is not only a Nickelodeon show. A lot of people have tried to get their hands on SpongeBob, but they just don't have enough money to show it. Okay? How do you stop the creator of the show from canceling? And maybe the present episodes is a sign that SpongeBob was just never a good show. And by that I mean, the reason it was good back in the day was because of Tim Hill and Derek Drymon and the old writers that they used to have. They don't have the same writers now for the new series, because if they did, it would still be the same people. It would still be the same way. It would still be good. I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't, because you can't run something this long. Even if the old writers were still there, it probably wouldn't be as good as the old ones. And then the other reason is also the music. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I believe the old music that they used to use belonged to Nickelodeon, and they don't use Nickelodeon soundtracks anymore. They use their own. Now, I like the Nickelodeon soundtracks that much. Music doesn't really matter that much, but in a show, it sometimes does. Music just, it matters. And that's the reason why I just, it's just, I don't like the music. It's just childish, sorta. Like, sometimes it's like, sometimes the music they play is, I can't explain it. It's sorta like a setting. It's as if they're supposed to be, like, it's like, da-da, 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 da-da-da-da-da. That just makes it seem childish sometimes. And, also, yeah, the music was cooler before 2005. So the show is completely different. They might as well just change the intro that they've been using for 13 years. Because if nothing else about the show is the same as the old series, then why keep the intro? Why keep the old intro? Change the intro. Even if it were the same way, I still would have liked it if they changed the intro, gave it a new look. I know that a lot of cartoons don't really change their intros sometimes, but that would have been cool. But, I mean, the show is not at all like the way it used to be, so why keep the old intro? And the animation was better from 99 to 04. Now it seems like his cheeks are kind of big. He's a little bit yellower, more yellowish. He's kind of just seems like he's, I don't know if this sounds right, but he's like a thicker sponge. Like if you look at this picture that if you look at the video mesh that I'm using right now, if you just look at SpongeBob, he looks skinny at the bottom. He look like his waist is skinny, and then it goes a little bit out towards the top. Now it's just like his waist is out, like his waist is big, and the top of his head is big. It's like like the old SpongeBob, like his waist used to come in a little bit. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just different. They always show Patrick's one tooth now. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this. Patrick used to have a one tooth, like he just had one tooth. Sometimes when he would act really stupid, they would show it. But now they just show it all the time. And the thing that annoys me about that is that it makes him look like he's a baby with that one tooth just sticking out. It makes him, like, it just looks weird. And the episodes are just, every single episode is trying to be special and an adventure. Now, let me tell you something. Most of the new episodes they have now aren't really special, but they are an adventure. Like, does every new episode have to be him going on some adventure with his gang, or does it have to be that in every new episode? I mean, does it have to be something in every new episode? In the old episodes, it would just be him working at the Krusty Krab. Maybe they would try and, I don't know. It wasn't this. They weren't trying to do too much. And SpongeBob is too in love with the Krusty Krab now. He used to, not that he didn't used to not like working at the Krusty Krab back in the day, but now it's his life. Like he has nothing else to do. Mr. Krabs is way too cheap. And him being cheap affects him being mean. Like, he would hunt down SpongeBob for a penny, which was just gum. He thought that SpongeBob had a penny, and he was hunting him down, trying to break into his house and steal it. It turned out to be just gum, and then Mr. Krabs ran out, and he said, "Okay, boy, I believe you." And then he started digging in SpongeBob's yard for the penny. And then get this, SpongeBob unraveled the gum and found out that it was a $500 bill. And then he says, "That stinks," and throws it down and then he throws it away. Why would you throw away $500? And then the thing is, you got Mr. Krabs hunting outside, digging under the ground for a penny, while there's $500 in the trash can of SpongeBob's pineapple. And also, Sandy has become sort of like a extreme scientist, sort of. Like, they use her as a really, really smart character, like, sort of like the person to go to when there's trouble. And that's me. She used to be something that you want to see again. Now she's just annoying. She's just a know-it-all scientist who is extreme. And she's not really that extreme anymore because she doesn't do karate at all. She used to kick SpongeBob's behind. She doesn't do karate anymore. And I wonder why. I mean, it used to be so fun just looking at SpongeBob and Sandy doing karate together, which she doesn't do anymore. Squidward is really just the only character who I can handle. He's just enough for me to handle. He's pretty much the only guy that I like. Plankton does not even come close to to succeeding with the Krabby Patty formula anymore. It's like they taunt him. It's like they taunt him, and they want him to fail. And here's how evil Mr. Krabs is. Plankton, I was looking at one episode, and Plankton wanted to lay his body down on the ground and get driven over by a car. Mr. Krabs pretends that he cares about this. Mr. Krabs pretends that, oh, well, that's terrible. And then he busts out laughing and sits down in a chair and watch it happen. Why would you watch your former friend commit suicide? That's just in a children's show. That's just wrong. Really wrong. Why would you watch your former friend lay down on the ground and get driven over by a car or a boat? Should have said. And then they don't really show Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy that much anymore, and when they do, it's just completely idiotic. It's just like Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. I don't know why, they're just not the same. They don't do the Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy episodes anymore. They just have them as guest stars. And when they are guest stars, it's completely stupid. They tried to make up some whole lie of how Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy came to be. And here's what it was. This episode was really stupid to me. What happened was they were waiting for popcorn in a microwave, and they fell into a nuclear factory, or just all sorts of weird stuff happened. And so then in another episode, they told what happened, how they became to be. And in this other episode, it was completely different. It was telling how Mermaid Man was blessed by a bunch of mermaids to be able to breathe underwater, and he had to live there for the rest of his life. And then Barnacle Boy came underwater because, this was really stupid to me. They showed a cartoon of Barnacle Boy. What happened to when they used to show humans who would dress up like characters? What happened to when they used to show the writers? Well, the creators don't care anymore about the kids. They just care about the money. But what happened to that? I used to really enjoy that. They showed a cartoon human. They showed Barnacle Boy as a human in cartoon. I may be stressing out, but I really liked it when they would dress up like when they would show actual humans. And this is kind of long. I might have to run this into a part 2. But he came in the water to clean coral off the boat. And because his master told him to do that. And Barnacle Boy thought he was struggling to breathe, so he gave him the power to breathe underwater. And they were able to breathe underwater. He was able to breathe underwater, so he couldn't breathe above water anymore, so he had to live with Mermaid Man. Why would you tell two complete different stories of how they came to be? That's just stupid. And then also, Gary is enough for me to handle. Karen is basically Plankton's slave. She's like a slave for Plankton. Patrick is so dumb. He used to be dumb, but he wasn't this dumb. And when he was dumb, at least he was dumb funny. Now he's just dumb. And Mrs. Puff has gotten to the point where she would kill SpongeBob. Yes, kill SpongeBob. In a new special episode for SpongeBob, she tried to kill SpongeBob by driving over him. That's completely idiotic. Why would you try to kill the student? Yes, he's failed so many times, but it never came to the point where, and she annoys him, but it never came to the point where she would want to kill Anyway, this rant is running over. My point is, I don't like the new SpongeBob. I'm signing out. Bye, guys.